In this session, let us revise employability skills, that is, entrepreneurship skills and green skills. The first question that we have is, what is entrepreneurship? Now, this is a type of self-employment where you're employing yourself and running your own business to satisfy the needs of people, that is the public, and look for ways out to make profits. The next possible question could be the qualities of entrepreneurs. There are around 8 qualities given. You can write down any 2 qualities. The first one, they are confident. They believe in themselves as well as their abilities. The second one, they keep trying for new ideas in their business. The third one, very important, they are very patient. Nothing comes up very soon. They don't see profits immediately. It takes time, isn't it? They are creative and they think differently about business ideas. So it's very important for a person to be creative and come up with different ideas. The next one, they take responsibilities for their own actions. It may so happen that their ideas may not work out all the time. In case of any loss that they incur, they take their responsibilities. The next one, they take decisions. They are very good decision makers. The next one, they are very hardworking people and they do not give up when they face any difficulty. So out of these 8 qualities, you may be asked to write maybe 2 or 4 qualities. Now the next question that we have here that we may expect is to differentiate between wage employed people and self-employed people. The word itself gives meaning. Wage employed people are those who work for a person or for an organization. So they in turn would get paid on a weekly or monthly basis. Whereas the self-employed people are those who work for their own business and satisfy the needs of other people. So this is the difference between wage employed and self-employed people. Now students, tell me, do you think all self-employed people are entrepreneurs? No, not necessarily. A self-employed person is someone who is trying to make his or her own business. But when we speak about an entrepreneur, he or she is the one who takes risks and they definitely try incorporating new ideas into their business. Okay? Now you may be also given a scenario and then asked to identify whether a person is an entrepreneur or not. For example, Ramya and Ramu both own plant shops. Ramu sits at his shop every day. When customers come, he sells to them. On the other hand, Ramya walks around and gets customer to her shop. She also sells seeds, flowers along with her plants. Now, who among the two is the entrepreneur here? It is Ramya, right? So this way, you should be in a position to read the given information and then find the answer. Now, where do these entrepreneurs do their business? They generally do it in a market. Now, how do they help in growing the area or the society that they are living in? They do this by buying and selling from each other. So when you are trading, when you are buying and selling from one another, it is going to be helpful for everyone because here it is involving money. Got it? The next question, what do you mean by the term demand? Demand means a product or service that people are looking for. Okay? This is what we call a demand. What do entrepreneurs do when they run their business? They first find out what people are actually wanting. Then they try to come up with ideas which is going to meet these demands. And finally, they make use of material and people who are available around them, right? Now the next question, how do they contribute to the society? All entrepreneurs work towards saving the environment. Some also share their wealth, the money that they gain in the business, towards building schools, hospitals, or when they are spreading their business, they in fact provide a lot of job opportunities. So this way they contribute to the society. Now students, there are a few true or false questions which is given in the textbook. Let us take this into consideration. Entrepreneurs create jobs in the market. The answer is true. The 12th one. When many entrepreneurs sell mobile phones in a market, the price of the phone increased. Now many are there, so the price is likely to decrease. Hence the answer is false. Got it? Entrepreneurs identify a need in the market and then they build a product or service for it, which makes true sense. So this answer is true. List the functions of entrepreneur. I am sure you must have gone through the 5 functions of entrepreneur. Now you can share the explanation. You can include the explanation in your answer, or when it is a question which says list, it is enough if you list down the functions. Well, now what are these functions? The first one, making decisions. They are good decision makers, of course. Managing the business, isn't it? They have to manage the business by planning what is required for the business, what would be the future requirements and all that. Then they divide the income, definitely. They pay for their building where they are having their company if it is rented. They spend money on salaries of the people. So they divide the income which they gain out of their business. Then the next one is taking risks. Now what is taking risk? An entrepreneur definitely needs to take risks. Suppose there is a fire that happens. Now how are they going to manage it? So anything that goes wrong has to be managed. So this is also an important function of an entrepreneur. And finally, to create a new method, idea or product. They always want to try new things out. Yes, so these 5 are the functions of an entrepreneur. Now let's see the next question. Akshay arranges for raw material, hires people for work and tells everyone what to do in his business. Now which function are we talking about here? It is managing the business. Now the same way you may get questions which will go appropriate with one of these functions. Now the question number 15 was with managing the business. You may be given a situation and you may be asked to find any function that is being spoken about in the given passage. Got it? Let's move on to the next question. What is a myth? We all know that myth or a misconception is a false belief about something. It may not be true, but still people believe it to be true. Now there are around 4 myths which are given in the textbook. The first one, every business idea needs to be unique or special. Is it required? No. Now see the second misconception or myth, a person needs to have a lot of money to start the business. Do you think it is true? No. The person can as well take a loan from the bank or borrow money from someone and start a new business. Now see the third misconception, a person having a big business is an entrepreneur. Is it necessary that a person needs to have a big business? No, it can be a small business too. There are a lot of people who run a very small business. You must have seen in the pandemic, there were a lot of home bakers, there were a lot of people who are providing home services, right? Even small business may be helpful in making a person a successful entrepreneur. Now let's look into the fourth myth. Entrepreneurs are born, not made. Let's look into the next question. A person who becomes an entrepreneur goes through a career process. Now what are the steps in this career process? The steps involved in this are enter, survive and grow. First, a person has to enter into a particular business and then they'll have to survive or try to establish themselves in that business. Then they can start growing by increasing the number of branches or spreading to different regions, opening up new stores and so on. So the three steps in the career process of an entrepreneur are enter, survive and grow. Now there were a few questions given on finding out whether a particular job is a wage employment or a self-employment. For example, cooking in a restaurant is wage employment. They get paid on a weekly, bi-weekly or monthly basis. The second one, owning a clothing business. This is definitely a self-employment because the person is owning the business over here, right? Now the next question. Surbi opens 5 painting stores across India. Which step of the career process? Is it 1, 2 or 3? Which one are we talking about? Which step of the career process is she in? Growing. Right? Now, having completed this, let us concentrate on green skills. There are a few questions which are with respect to green skills. Let us get into them. The first one, the 21st question in sequence. What is sustainable development? You've been learning this definition for almost 2 years now. It is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the future generation, guaranteeing a balance between 3 dimensions: economic growth, care for environment and social well-being. We know this definition thoroughly. We've been going through this. Now this particular definition, the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generation, was formulated by the World Commission on Environment and Development in the year 1987. You need to know who has formulated and in which year was this formulated. Got it? Now let's go on to the next question. Name the problems related to sustainable development. Here we are not going to write all the existing problems in detail. You're just going to mention the 3 major problems that are given in the textbook. They are food, fuel and water. So these are the 3 major problems that are related to sustainable development. The next question could be a possible one. The barren land with wild vegetation in Charanka, Gujarat has contributed to sustainable development. And you all know how. They had established a mega solar power plant of 600 megawatt. So this has actually reduced the dependence on non-renewable fossil fuels in Gujarat. So actually they've gained a lot of income with this, and this is going to help the future generation also. So this way the barren land has been converted into a solar plant and has contributed to sustainable development. Now tell me how we can contribute towards sustainable development, we as responsible citizens. We can do it by reducing excessive use of resources, by enhancing the conservation of resource. Definitely we can do a little by recycling and reuse of waste materials. Then we can start making use of bioresources. We can definitely plant more trees, isn't it? You can take a drive, you can go with the school or you can go with an NGO and participate in planting more trees. Now where there are a lot of concrete buildings, one can also contribute by increasing the green grassy patches and trees in between the buildings. The other ways could be you can make use of environment friendly material or biodegradable material, and by using technologies that are environment friendly. So we can contribute in one of these ways. Got it? Now tell me, what's the full form of SDG? It is Sustainable Development Goals. Now when and where was this formulated? It was first launched by the United Nations Sustainable Development Summit in the year 2015, and we are expecting all the 17 goals to be achieved by 2030. So how many goals are there? There are 17 sustainable development goals. I'm sure you all know the names of these goals. You may be asked to write the names of these goals also. Now, why were these formulated? So that all the nations across the globe can take some action to protect air, water and land from getting polluted and providing clean water, air and energy to all people. Right? Because if all of us contribute, only then we can make the world a better place to live in. If one country does and the other country doesn't do, it is not going to help the entire globe in change of climate or in having provision for good water, isn't it? So it's a collective effort. Do you know the use of a biodegradable bag? Have you heard of this term biodegradable bag? These are bags which can dissolve in hot water and can decompose easily in a natural environment. How is edible cutlery made out of grain contributing towards sustainable development? When we talk about edible cutlery, we can use it for eating. At the same time, we can eat the cutlery itself, isn't it? So even if you're not going to eat it, you can easily decompose it and it's going to get absorbed by the soil. The soil is going to get enriched with it. This way, it's contributing towards sustainable development. We are not making use of plastic. The next question could be to name a few practices that can be helpful in preserving the environment. So students, you've heard of terms like this: organic farming, vermicomposting, rainwater harvesting, isn't it? All these practices would help us to preserve the environment. There can be a question on writing a short note on organic farming. Organic farming is one wherein farmers are not going to make use of chemical pesticides or fertilizers. Instead, they are going to make use of organic and natural fertilizers like cow dung, so that they help in the growth of crops. Now this will help the soil to have better quality because the fertilizer is natural. We are not going in for any chemicals. So you can write notes on organic farming. Mostly if you're going to get, you'll get either a 1-mark question or a 2-mark question. So keeping this in mind, if you prepare, it is going to be easy. Now the next question, we'll be running out of natural resources. Now there's a lot of population and it is on a increasing note. So therefore the consumption of natural resources are also increasing. Now when we are trying to grow more crops, definitely the nutrients of the soil goes down. So the same way, the continuous use of fossil fuels like coal, oil, natural gas also may run out soon. This is the reason people say that we will soon run out of natural resources. Now the next question could be the advantages of using collages. What are the advantages? They are reduced cutting of trees for making paper cups, new job creation. There will be a need for pottery, isn't it? Pots. So there will be a lot of job created for potters, which is going to definitely contribute to economy. And the third one could be to reduce plastic waste. Now students, there are a few sustainable development goals given in the textbook, and there are points given in which we, the people, can help in achieving a particular sustainable development goal. Let's see the first one. The first one is quality education. How we can ensure that we provide quality education? By making use of the facilities that are present in our areas, taking our friends to school, helping them to study and Stop friends from dropping out of the school and make sure that they continue the other classes, the higher classes. So they don't drop out or take TC and sit at home. Now, what are the ways in which we can help people in achieving the goal clean water and sanitation? All of us must take efforts to make India free of open defecation by building toilets and creating awareness towards sanitation. We also need to take steps by promoting awareness to keep the water sources like lakes, ponds and everything clean by not letting anyone pollute it. Now the next question, the same thing on affordable and clean energy. How can we help in achieving this goal? By making use of solar power, that is the power which is generated from the sun because it does not cause pollution. And then making use of biogas, which is an alternate to natural gas and it's also eco-friendly, right? Ways in which you can help in achieving the goal decent work and economic growth. There are 3 points given. You can write any 2. Study and find good jobs to take care of us as well as our families. Work hard and contribute to the society. Learn and develop skills so that we get to add value in our community. How can we reduce inequality? How can we contribute towards helping people in achieving this SDG? We can try to be helpful to one another. We can be friendly with everyone irrespective of the gender. We can include everyone in work or when we are playing. We can help others by including everyone, small, big, girl, boy, belonging to a particular class, caste, isn't it? Now the next question, 2 ways in which we can help people in achieving the sustainable development goals, sustainable cities and communities. If we think of sustainable cities, you can think of your house. So you can save energy by switching off the lights and fans when they are not in use, making use of natural light as much as possible and use energy efficient bulbs and appliances. So this way you can help people in achieving this goal. Now, how can we help people in achieving this goal? Responsible consumption and production. Now, consumption, what you're going to consume and what is getting produced. You can reuse paper, glass, plastic, water, etc. By taking cloth bags. Already we've started doing this. To buy any fruits or vegetables, we carry cloth bags. We donate things such as clothes, books, furniture, etc. We buy and eat seasonal fruits and vegetables from the local vendors. Then we can also repair the leaking taps and pipes so that we don't waste water. And then we are sorting and segregating the waste, right? Wet waste, dry waste, e-waste. So this also can contribute or help towards responsible consumption and production. Now, how can we protect life below water? By protecting the marine life, the marine creatures, saving our ocean from getting polluted. We see a lot of plastic papers and plastic bottles in marine life, and we are only polluting by throwing waste, the industrial waste getting mixed with the ocean water, isn't it? So by avoiding all this, we can definitely preserve the existing marine life. How can we protect life on land? By planting more trees, because we've cut enough trees for constructing buildings or, for any other construction of factories, for extending the city limits, isn't it? So by planting more trees to replace the one that's already cut is one way in which we can protect life on land. Finally, the last question. Some ways in which we can use resources sensibly by reusing paper, glass, plastic waste, by taking cloth bags to the market, by repairing taps and pipes to avoid water. This is somewhere related to responsible consumption and production only, right? Just because this was a question given in the textbook, I had repeated this again. So now students, we have completed both entrepreneurial skills and green skills, whatever is given in the NCERT book. I hope this helps you in preparing for your Term 2 board exam. All the very best. Please do like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you.